it's Liz from Old Stables Crafts again. And, oh, here's a hint. Don't take a bite of biscuit just before you start filming. It doesn't work. Hold on. Quick slug of coffee always makes me better. Right, sorry about that. Okay, so today's project is using some of the new limited edition glimmer papers from Celebration. These are the second launch. There's 3 colours. There's Sweet Sugar Plum, Bermuda Bay and Mint Macaron, and they are so lush. And you get a stack of 6x6, and you get 4 sheets of each colour, and it is just to die for. And it's very limited because it is only going to be available from the 21st of February to the end of March. So if you haven't bought anything in Celebration yet, what are you waiting for a start? And jump over there now and get all that lovely glimmer paper, because once it's gone, and once the 31st of March is gone, that's it. Anyway, so this is today's project. This is using Gorgeous Grunge. Now, for some reason, I kind of missed getting Gorgeous Grunge, but I bought it recently because we've got a team event. Had a team event by the time you read this, probably, or see this. Had a team event this weekend, and one of the stamp sets we were going to be using was Gorgeous Grunge. And because I'm one of the table monitors, it was suggested, very nicely suggested, that if anyone wanted to get any of the stamp sets that we were going to be using, now would be a perfect moment to get them. So, as I've always wanted Gorgeous Grunge, I now have Gorgeous Grunge, and I love it already. I have to say, this is the first project I've made with it, but I love it. So, this is Gorgeous Grunge, and I've used all the purples. So, Wisteria Wonder, oh, my brain has gone. Hold on, hold that thought. Sweet Sugar Plum, Wisteria Wonder, Perfect Plum, and Elegant Eggplant. And I've done some stamping off, so, which is why there seems to be more than one colour. And this obviously is the Sweet Sugar Plum limited edition glimmer paper. The Elegant Eggplant and Sweet Sugar Plum backing, and some of our sequin trim, which dangles. So yeah, and then I've taken a couple of the sequins, or 3 sequins, and splattered them around. So let's get on. Let's look at today's. Today we are going with Bermuda Bay, and for those of you that have watched me for a while, you may know that Bermuda Bay is one of my absolutely favourite colours. So when they said they were doing Bermuda Bay glimmer paper, I was just there. So we've got, oops, sorry, my notifications are on my laptop, so if you heard a boing, that's what that was. Bermuda Bay cardstock, Bermuda Bay sequin trim, Bermuda Bay glimmer paper, some sequins off the trim, and then Night of Navy, and then obviously Whisper White for the stamping. And then I'm going to be using, for this one, Bermuda Bay as my pop, and then Marina Mist, Night of Navy, and Pacific Point. Pacific Point is actually one of my favourites as well. So I've gone for the blue hues, but all in that cool blue, and then with Bermuda Bay as the pop. So hopefully it'll work. So let's get stamping. Sizes, dimensions, this is my usual, hopefully, is my usual base. Yes, I did manage to pull the right one out. So it's my usual base, so 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, or 14 1/4 by 9 3/4, and then the Whisper White is 5 1/2 by 3 3/4, or 14 by 9 1/2. Measurements on the associated blog post, link below. Right, after which, so let's pop those there. I've pre-cut from the Sunshine Wishes die set, the Congrats. I used Sunshine previously, but just to save some time, I have pre-cut that Congrats. So let's pop all of that to one side and get on with the stamping. I'm using 3 of the stamps now. Take a lesson from me. I thought I was going to be getting the clear stamps, but I haven't. I've got the wood. I mean, the only difference is that these come with the blocks and that they are a bit more expensive. But, you know, there you go. If you don't check your order thoroughly, that's what happens. So, let us start with the mid-tone of the blue. So that would be Pacific Point. Don't need that and don't need that for the moment. And we are going to start by, say, Pacific Point. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, I really am getting lots of notifications today. We've got a team event. As I'm recording this, we've got a team event this weekend, and there's lots of stuff going on our secret Facebook page with people saying, oh, do I need to bring this, and what about that, and stuff. And I should really have turned it off, but I didn't. So there we go. Right, so that's Pacific Point. Don't need that again. I've got my stamping scrub to the side, so I can clean off my stamp in between colours. So I'm now going to bring in the Marina Mist. And I'm actually turning, I did that stamp with the rounded edge at the top, and I'm now going to turn it upside down and do it the other way round just because I did on the original, so I'm going to do it again. I did deliberately on the original, I would hasten to add. This is going to be a bottom out moment so I can see where the stamp's going. Also get rid of some of the problem with die cutting glimmer paper is whilst the glimmer paper doesn't actually shed that much glitter on its own, when you die cut it, it breaks the seal around the glitter, so it then sheds. So clean that again and bring in Night of Navy. And these are very subtle different colours, but I just think it's nicer than doing it all the same. And again, I'm putting the non-rounded edge at the top and the bottom is going out so I can see where I'm stamping. Back in. For those of you that have followed me for a while, you will know that I stand at my desk, so it's a little easier for me to put the old backside out. Right, okay, so that's that. And then I'm bringing in the Bermuda Bay. And first of all, I am going to bring in the little dots. And these are going to, I'm actually going to bring in some scrap because I'm going to be stamping off. And as I've just turned over my grid paper, I want to keep it clean for a little while longer. Right, so be careful, and if you do what I've done, try not to, but just be careful. I now need to make sure I don't rock. I'm going to make that slightly easier for myself because I'm going to come off the side anyway, so I'm going to make sure that the bit that is over inked is off the side, and off the side the other side, and actually I should be double stamping anyway, so because I want this all over and I want it in two tones, so I'm going to stamp that off because I now want it more in the second tone. And again, right, so that's that, just clean that. Need to put some more stamping mist on my scrub, I think, because it's doing an okay job, but right, and now this bit at the bottom, well, which will become the top, I am going to again stamp off and do a better job than that, I think. Fortunately, some of these will be covered up, and again I should have been stamping off so I can get some different tones. And if you stamp and then, if you're stamping off the piece of paper, and can you actually see that I'm stamping off the piece of paper? Yes, you can. You need to re-ink between, if you then want to do second generation stamping, because you will get a line. Let me show you what I mean. So if I just put a very dark one there. So I've now got a square. So if I stamp there, you can see, maybe, let me bring this up and get it in the camera. Yeah, so you can see that there's a square, which you don't really want on the middle of your card. So you need to re-ink. And actually I will go full strength, but I'll turn it that way. Right, that's that. So that's actually all the stamping done. Just clean everything up. Whoops, flying ink pads are never a good idea. Right, okay, let's bring in the mat. Get rid of that. And pop this. I'm using glue rather than using snail. There's absolutely no reason not to use the snail, but I'm just I go through phases. Sometimes I like glue, sometimes I like snail, and at the moment I'm going through a glue phase. So there we are. I'm allowed. It's up to me. So there we are, nice little border. And then we're going to put our congrats here. But before we put that on, we're going to put our trim on. Now, I have cut the trim in advance, obviously. And I've actually, at the back here, in advance, I have put a little bit of Tombow, because that stops the sequins wanting to fall off. And I can now that the Tombow is set, I can just trim the fluffy ends off. Get rid of that, and I can bring in my... Oh yes, I know what I was going to... See, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. I was actually going to do it slightly differently this time. I was going to do that. So I do need to pop that up there with some Tombow. So let me just pop a bit of Tombow on there, and then we can be leaving that to dry a bit whilst I'm doing other things. Isn't it lovely when you plan these things and then go off piste and forget that that's what you're supposed to have been doing? Right, so we'll leave that to dry for a bit. This is going to go here, and then this bit of trim, when it's dry, will go here-ish. In fact, we'll probably put it under the N here, so that we can hide its top. And then I've got these little sequins, which I took off the trim, and I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow in 3 places. And I like things to be in triangles. I just find it pleasing on the eye. Or rows are fine. And I've actually put a little bit of Tombow on the end of my paper piercer. One of the other demos in the team mentioned that that's a good idea. So, and look at that, isn't that just, it just makes it a little bit sticky, but not sticky, for picking up sequins and the like. You do still have to help it stay down, because the Tombow on here is stickier than the Tombow on here, because this isn't dry yet. Tombow dries clear, so don't worry if it squishes out the sides a little bit. I actually like to make sure that it comes through the middle of the sequin, because I feel as if then it's got a good anchor. We are going to pretend that this is dry. It will dry in... Actually, it is almost dry, so that's fine. So I'm going to bring in a glue dot. I knew there was a reason why I got the glue dots in. And just pick one of those up and pop it. That's going to go there, but it was going to go slightly off the edge, I think. So, actually I might put it under the O of congratulations. So we'll pop a glue dot there, try and pick up our now very sticky, because it's still not quite dry, sequin, and stick that down. So there we are. And then this I am going to stick down with some more Tombow. Oh, and I've just noticed that I've not got all of my die cutting out. So let's just pop the last little bit out. Apparently it doesn't want to come out. It doesn't want to leave its mother. Right, I don't put a huge amount of glue on the back of these, and I don't put it across the whole thing. I just put it in places where I think it's most likely to catch, and just so that it's got a reasonable amount of glue so that it does actually attach itself to the card. You can use fine tip glue. It's not something I particularly enjoy using on camera because it has a tendency for me to find it very difficult to get the lid back on without glasses and without, you know, with people watching. So yeah, don't tend to use that on camera. Oh, I've just managed to smudge my Tombow. That's all right, let's get that off. That's what nails are for. Oh, and here's another thing. Don't, when you've just done your nails, then use a hot glue gun, because you end up with hot glue string all over your nails. I'm doing decorating one of the celebration tins as part of what we're doing for the team event this weekend, last weekend when you watch this probably. Yeah, I'm sticking stuff on it with a hot glue gun, and the strings have gone everywhere, and I've only just done my nails, and yeah, that wasn't clever. But there we go, never mind. These things are sent, oops, to triers. Let's try actually making a card before we try sticking things to it. Make sure this is the right way up, make sure this is opening the right way, and it is, and then just pop that down and just hold it in place for a little bit, and that's that done. So 2 monochromatic cards, basically the same but slightly different, but featuring our lovely new Celebration limited edition Get It Now or Be Sorry glimmer paper. So yeah, as I say, remember, £45. For every £45 you spend, you get to choose a free item, and why wouldn't you choose the glimmer paper? It's just lovely. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. The associated blog post is below. Just click more below this video on YouTube, if you're assuming you're watching it on YouTube. And there's links to my online store, how to join, etc, etc. And obviously, if you wanted to join, I'd be delighted to welcome you. Yeah, welcome you to the fun of being a Stampin' Up demonstrator and getting lots of discounts and free stuff. There we go. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.